Pull-ups can be chin-ups with an underhand grip or overhand grip, often called the pull-up. It can go either way, depending on what feels best for you. Most people find it easiest to get a chin-up before a pull-up, but there may be reasons that you might find it to be different. You might find the pull-up feels better or feels better on your joints. So do the one that feels best for you. Don't necessarily focus on only doing one or the other. Just because there's a progression laid out. We're going to start though using our chin up and doing a low bar pull up. So I have the bar set so that I can finish with a full stand and still hit my top lock off position. But I can also pull myself straight down to the ground. Notice that the pull up isn't straight up. Notice that I come around and then come over. That is because just like on presses, my arm, my elbow makes this arc motion when I go from my neutral position to the overhead position. So when I fully flex my shoulder and I bring it back to neutral, it isn't a straight line straight up and down. So use that. That's going to be part of pulling mechanics. So from here, active scaps first. So I want to pull up with my upper back first and then finish with my arms. Slow and controlled, up and down. Anyone should be able to make a low bar pull-up a really challenging thing. I am just actively using my feet, dragging them along only to the degree that I need. I'm not trying to do more reps by pushing through my feet. So learning to control what's doing the work. Listening to your body. Are you just pushing your feet into the ground to get up over the bar and accomplish the goal? Then you might be missing out on some strength gains. So you're focused on scap pulls, and then finish the pull with your arm, back and then arms. We use the big strong muscles first and do everything we can with them before we resort to our smaller, weaker muscles. So a low bar chin up is where we start. We keep doing these and working on these until we have a full lock off, which means holding myself above the bar in that flexed arm position. That's a lock off position. So when you hit the top position, that top lock off position, and we hold that. Our rule of thumb is holding for time up to 30 seconds. So when you can get 30-second lock-offs, then move on to the next, which might be some partials. It's kind of a half step. So a partial might be coming off and then coming back over, coming down and then coming back over, just going down to where you can still pull up from. It's going to be easier, have more mechanical advantage at the top half of the pull-up versus the bottom half. So it's easier to do pull-ups here, harder to do pull-ups here because, well, we have mechanical disadvantages. Much harder to pull from that, that bottom position. So partials. The next progression will be a full negative. So full negative, probably easier to do it on a high bar actually than on a low bar. Is here, I'm going to start in the overhead position, any way you need to get there, and then I'm going to slowly control myself all the way down, controlling every single angle, especially those bottom ones that are really, really tough. And there too, you'll be tracking time. So 30-second holds are standard for negatives. The next progression can also be, it might be a little back and forth between negatives and the next one. It might not be a stepping stone or I did this, now I did this. It might be a little back and forth between these two. But band assisted pull-ups means that I'm going to use resistance band to take a little bit of load out of my pull. Let's try this one over here. So I'm going to take this band, I'm going to put it around my foot, stomp down on it, squeeze my feet together, so strong center line engagement. And I got to keep my leg straight. If my leg bends like this, it's going to stop helping me. So my leg has to be straight and I have to get a good hollow body position. And then I can start working my full pulls up and down. Again, a combination of some band assisted pull-ups and negatives might be needed in order to get that very first full pull-up. So the next progression is full pull-ups. Pulling 100% of your body from the ground to the overhead position and back down. The key, if you're doing low rep pull-ups, really slow, really controlled, full ranges is the goal. If we're working on high volume pull-ups, high rep pull-ups, then you can be a little faster, not jerky, herky-jerky, but you can be a little faster and use a little bit of the stretch reflex if it feels safe to you. But generally speaking, a pull-up is a slow and squeezy movement, not a fast and fluid movement, so you don't throw yourself at any of the reps to the best of your ability. The final progression is an archer pull-up. Archer means that one arm is pulling and one arm is reaching out to the side. So it makes like you're drawing a bow. I'm going to raise up these rings quickly. These are best done on rings. There are versions of them that can be done on the bar, but they're best done on the rings. And here, when I pull myself up, one arm is going to reach out. I'm going to put all of my weight over here, and then I'm going to come back down. To the other side, this arm holds on, this arm stretches out. And then I'll come back down.